Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 16 of my small block Chevy dream. In this shot you can see the start of the modifications to the oil pan that I had mentioned in the previous video, and there's those tabs folded and welded into the pan. And I was lucky enough that Dave Lee up the road, a friend of mine, had an old Moroso pan, and he gave me those little black tabs there that slide over the parts I've welded onto the pan so I can bolt this plate that you can see here to the pan. It needs to be removable in the way that it all works, and here it is with the oil pump fitted, and that's going to retain oil around the pickup. So we nailed that one, and then I thought I'd move on to the next stage, which was starting to fit the crank and checking end play on the crank. So I torqued all the mains up and checked the end play, end float, end play, whatever you want to call it. We had about 4 thou, which is nice. That'll work. But the next stage was to start stripping and cleaning pistons and rods, and that's when this whole deal came to a halt with what I found. And in this next bit of the video, you'll see exactly what we found, and it wasn't pretty. It pretty well halted the assembly process. So what I've done is I've made a little fixture so I could spin the wrist pins up with a dial indicator on the center of the wrist pin, and turn the wrist pin around as I felt that the wrist pins weren't coming out the pistons nice. And this is what we found. This was the worst pin. This is number 1 cylinder, and that had a 6 thou bend in it. And these pins are a 990 diameter, 240 wall, H13 tool steel pin. They're the best pin that Carrillo or CP could supply. So it's not like we skimped out. And there's the individual dimensions on bends and ovality, and even the big ends of the rods. That's another story. We're out around. But anyway, what we had to do is try and source some larger diameter pins. And when I say larger, 1 or 2 thou larger, because the little end of the rod wasn't too bad. It was flogged out a little bit, probably a thou or a thou and a half, but nothing that we couldn't deal with if we had to. So luckily, George at Racemax, again, he saved our lives. He's found us some 992 pins. They're a slightly thicker wall, and readily available from Trend wrist pins or Trend push rod, same company. And we've got them coming so that once we get them, Brent and Bassett can then hone the pistons and rod little ends to suit the new pins, and we should be good to go again. By sheer coincidence, Steve Morris has just put out a video, and I have to say I love Steve Morris's videos, and it basically deals with this very subject of wrist pins and loads on these components, loads and stresses that they see in operation at these RPMs that these engines are turning at. And so he gave you the formula to work out what the load is on some of these components. And so I did the calculation on ours, and our piston assembly weighed 1.8 pounds, and we calculated it on 9800, which is what the engine saw at the last event. And when that piston reaches top dead center and gets pulled back down by the crank through the rod, that wrist pin is seeing 5 ton of load. I think it was about 9,000 pounds of load. That's how much it multiplies at RPM. Anyway, we'll be back, and we'll fix what we've got to do. And again, thanks to Brenton Bassett for his expertise. And thanks so much for watching these videos, and I hope you all get something out of it, and we'll see you on the next one.